So on this one, I'm going to be talking to both parents. I'm talking to the mom, I'm talking to the dad, but especially mom. We do this most of the times unconsciously. We have a tendency of using certain phrases or certain words, or we express certain actions that will make our kids feel like the other parent is a monster. Yes, we do that all the time, but most of the times we do that unconsciously. If you have woken up from this is amazing. If you haven't, then listen to me all through. I'll give you a good example. Now you're at home as a dad or mom, and let's say you're a mom at home, your husband went to work, and then your kids are, they're in the house running up and down, doing their own stuff, and you're cool with that. They're on Roblox all day. You are not saying anything. You are the cool parent. Every child wants to go where they feel welcomed. Yeah, they feel it's cool, it's okay for them to thrive, and this is you. The minute you know it's about time that your wife would come back home, or when she calls you that she's on her way coming back, and you start telling the kids, hey, you guys should know your mom is coming. You guys, look how you've messed the living room. Your mom will be here in a minute. You know your mom, right? When you start saying these things, you are just saying it as a cool parent. And you think you'll say that then, and then they'll organize the house and it'll be fine. But you're planting a very bitter seed in those kids' minds. Yes, this seed would grow and it would follow them all through their adulthood. Yes, it will surely follow them. It would sure make them feel that you are the safe place for them to thrive. You are the zone where they can do whatever, and everybody wants to stay in a place which is free. You are a safe place for them. The other parent is a monster. The other parent is somebody that can kill them. That, when you do this kind of things, it has a very huge impact in the child's mind. And that's why you see, because most mothers do this all the time. When your dad comes, I will tell him that you were on the phone the whole day. When your dad comes, when your dad is here, I'm going to tell him everything you did. But when the child is doing all those things, you clearly just ignore, and you don't, not like ignore, but you don't really lay emphasis on blaming them that much. And then you make them feel like the person who's going to come correct that mistake is the other parent who is not here. Because I am saying this from experience, and a lot of research have it that you will see most children when they're in their old age, or when the parents are old, they're always very concerned about, not that they ignore the father, but they're always saying, my mom, my mom, my mom. So the dad's pain, tears, and all the hustle usually is not recognized. Usually the kids don't feel it because of certain things that we say while we're grooming or growing them up or raising them. We should be very mindful of the things we say around children. It's going to stay in their mind. It will develop however it wants to develop, and they will interpret it however they want to interpret it. You see, it was happening in my house, where every time my granddaughter, maybe her room is not yet cleaned or something like that, then my husband comes around and be like, Charlotte, do you know that she has not cleaned her room? But he will not talk to her. He will not talk to her, right? Then it will be me, I'll just go, why did you not clean your room? Now for this girl, the dad is the person who is okay. That's a cool dad. The one who's always gonna come and talk would be me, And then we had a conversation, and then we sat through it, and we spoke, and I said, this is how it's gonna impact this child. If you see this, fix it. Don't make them feel like I am the unsafe space for them. I am the monster. No, don't do that. Then he could see it through what I was saying. Then he said, yeah, you're right. And he worked on it. And then I also have another friend who was sharing this conversation, and then he mentioned the rules that they had in their house. Usually when we're going back in Cameroon, I don't know about other countries, but usually for those of us who are raised in the village or villages, when we're going back to school, our parents usually, they will give you your allowance, they give you money or something like that. So usually it's the dad that hands the money, or the head of the family hands the money to you, right? And then the other parent calls you to the side, and then they give you a little small amount. Let's say your dad gives you $1,000 back to school, or 100,000 say for back to school. Your mom calls you to the side and gives you maybe $200. The human mind works in such a funny way sometimes. Now the child starts attaching more value to that 200 as opposed to that 1,000, and now they feel like you are the person that did, I don't know, they're unthoughtful. So some of these things that we do as parents would follow our children all through their adulthood, and it would even impact how they would look after us in our old age. Now, clearly, the dads work too hard as well. Moms are also doing their own, but don't use certain words or action to make your kids feel like you are a safer parent to the other one. That's my message for today, especially to moms. We do this all the time. Until next video, Nanga Charlotte Agent.